Hi, and thanks for joining us on year 15 for the Wine, Champagne, and Sparkling Show. I'm Bobby P.
I'm Sandy Holland's husband.
And we're joined by the usual crew, Sandy and Essie, for our 15th Bubble Show. Thank you guys for joining us. And because it is the 15th, we have some really unique stuff for this show. At least I think so, Rocky. I don't know what you have.
I'm thrilled. I have no idea what's going to happen here.
And we know Essie's going to be surprising everybody because nobody ever knows what Essie's got up her little bag of tricks. She's got some stuff out already. So 15 years of doing the show, we've covered so many different types of sparkling, bubbles, and champagne. So I really wanted to get something different this year to really a wow factor for Rocky because we drink Prosecco, we drink cava, we drink bubbles, we drink champagne. What I'm going to be started off with tonight is something I recently found. It's called the Raventos y Blanc. It is a Blanc de Blanc. It is a Spanish wine. And it is known, it's actually a vintage. It's got a year, 2020, which we generally do not do on the show for sparkling.
That's impressive.
But this is so special. It was on Wine Spectator's top 23 in 2022. And it is known as the cava that's not a cava.
Ooh.
And it's rather pricey. So it drinks like a champagne. And I'm really curious to see what everyone's going to say.
Well, I brought a not pricey cava with me because I'm cheap. And it'll be kind of cool to compare them side by side, right?
It most certainly will. And I'm really looking forward to this because when I saw this in the store and I read the profile, I said, a cava that's not a cava. I love the name of that. And then
What is it?
I think you're going to be surprised.
It's a bunch of grapes that none of us can pronounce.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'll read some of the tasting notes as everybody takes a little smell. But will this actually taste like a real champagne?
It's very bubbly.
It smells like champagne. That's for fair. Tiny bubbles in the wine.
It has 7 million.
It does.
Yeah.
It does not taste like a cava at all.
What does it taste like, Tim?
It tastes like a mid-range champagne.
I would say, yeah.
I agree with that.
And the tasting notes, basically lemon zest, a little toast, a little vanilla, a little ripe peach. But everything that you're tasting in this particular cava that's not a cava should not taste like a cava. So if you did this a blind tasting, you really shouldn't even in a million years guess that it was a cava. So what was interesting about this is the 2020 vintage, and it was number 23 on Wine Spectator's list, but 2020 was not a good year for some grapes in certain areas of Spain. So this particular vineyard, I know it's 40-year-old vines that makes this particular one. And they actually, because there was a problem with some, what do they call it? They had some problems with some of the leaves or, not bacteria, infestation or some type of mold or something like that.
Botrytis, maybe?
Whatever it was. So they had to import some of the grapes to make this particular vintage. And I think that's why it is known as the cava, that's not a cava.
Yeah.
And Rocky's right. There's at least 4 different varietals of wine grapes in here. I'll get to those shortly, but I'm really curious to think at the price point that this is, which is between $32 and $42, which is very pricey for a cava. If somebody gave you this and didn't tell you what it was, Essie has one that's wrapped up in aluminum foil. We don't know what that is. What would you think, Sandy, with your palate?
I would put this at champagne, probably
too.
at around $50, $50, $60 champagne. Yeah.
Is it the flavor? Is it the bubbles? Is it the aroma? What sort of?
Me, it's there's a little bit of toast on it, the bread, and to me that speaks to champagne.
And I know cava is not always your favorite, Rocky, right? Or is it Prosecco you like better?
I don't like Prosecco.
Oh, it's Prosecco you don't like.
Typically don't like Prosecco. Some of them are okay, but cava and champagne are made the same way. They're completely different grapes, but they're made the same way. And so a lot of times they impart a lot of the same flavors. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes cava can be a complete miss. I've had champagnes that are not very good before, but for the price, cava is one of the best things that you can get for your money. I mean, given what goes into making it, it's really a bargain.
I remember when we had the comparison on, I think, was it last year with the cava and prosecco?
Yes, it was last year.
And the cavas came out strong last
Yeah.
year. So
And we have a few people in the audience. Brian's out there. My wife's out there.
I know, I'm nervous.
I know, Brian, you hit us with that delicious, was it Lambrusco, that bubbling from California some time ago?
Yeah, it was but it was skin.
That was delicious.
Yeah.
That was delicious. I'm really curious after the show what you think of this. So I have to say, I'm really impressed with this. And it is a higher price point than you're used to for a cava, but I think it's worth it just for the uniqueness of it and to add to your collection. Especially, they say this can actually age longer. So it actually is going to get a little bit better. I think they said for the next 2 or 3 years, but obviously you should drink it before 2030. But it still can age a little bit in that bottle. So
Yeah. No, I appreciate you bringing this.
So I'm glad it surprised you.
I feel bad that
I was hoping it would.
I found what I thought was a bargain.
that way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it'll be fun to taste the cava afterwards.
Because I think we're going to run into a real cava next. So it's going to be a really interesting taste.
Yeah, this is traditional cava, Macabeo, Zorello.
Do you want me to pour?
Eh, well, make.
Is it one we've had before or a newer one that we haven't tried?
You've had this, I believe, at your house, but we've not had this on the show. This price is out at around like $12, $13.
Which is generally what you want to pay for.
For cava is and it's we were talking about Wine Spectator. It's a 92-point Wine Spectator. For those of you that live and die by points, it's 92 points. So I think it's good. I've had it before, but I would like to compare this to a whatever. I guess that's not a cava that we just had, a Spanish sparkling, we'll call it.
There is a difference already, definitely in the aroma. I mean, the first one, I think you did smell a little bit more of the toastiness.
Yours leaped out of the glass a little more. This one's a little more subdued. So what's on the nose, not much, but.
So, Essie, there was one year you talked a little bit about bubbles, and so I've been fascinated with them ever since. So the last one had a lot of bubbles.
Very effervescent, yes.
This one, not as much. So what was the deal with?
I don't remember.
Was it a grape?
When you told us.
No, not grape. It was a raisin.
That was to bring out the sugar if you had left your champagne a few hours or for the next day. You put a raisin and that generates the
Yes. Okay.
bubbles to come up. But see, you're right. Yours
Tastes very different.
Not as much.
From the first one.
It is very
I
different.
definitely like yours better.
That's why I know when I saw this and I saw the cava, that's not a cava. And the reason it was so special and unique, like I said, I knew it was going to be something special. And I'm so glad because generally you do not taste a cava like that. And to compare it with a regular cava, now don't get me wrong, regular cava is still good.
So good.
We drink this, we'll drink this all summer long and be happy.
Yeah.
And we'll drink this all year long and be happy. But there's a noticeable difference in a standard cava to what we just drank.
What that thing that you brought, it tastes like it's got that baked bread champagne quality to it. This doesn't really have that.
What they said is actually in Spain, when they want to drink a champagne and not at champagne costs, this is what they usually go to in regards to that, to sort of alleviate that higher price. Because you can get into champagne, I guess, starting with
You
high
can go crazy
40s.
with it, yeah.
Some of it's really
Usually, real champagne, you can probably start in the high 40s and it goes up from there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always sales, but in general, you're not going to get a real champagne for usually under $40.
Under $40, unless you go to Costco and get the Kirkland champagne for
Well, yeah.
$19, and it's it tasted a little skunky, but I'll try it. I'll try anything once. Well,
And why generally, Rocky, isn't there a vintage or a year on most sparkling? It doesn't matter, right?
most champagne, I don't know about cava so much, probably, but champagne, they're all non-vintage, so they'll take some stuff from one year and blend it with another year, and really only if that year has such a good crop that it displays a characteristic, they say this needs to stand on its own. So like 2008 champagne, it's going to be vintage, but typically they're going to blend it with other years unless it's a really good vintage.
And can you even, I know we discussed this numerous times, but there's always new people watching. How long can you store a non-vintage bubbles or that doesn't have a date on it? How do you even know?
I'm going to say for quality non-vintage champagne, probably 30 years. It's going to impart different flavors if you sit on it long enough, but depends on what you want. I'm one of those people that there's not many wines that I like to age more than 10, 15 years, red or white.
We have a whole wine fridge.
I know, that I'm just like, I gotta break this open at some point, but yeah, it's always looking for an occasion. But wine snobs, champagne, sparkling wines, yeah, you can sit on for a long time.
And I should say yet again, Sandy's prepared a wonderful spread, which a lot on that platter goes exactly to what we're drinking tonight. There's some saltiness there, both in the meats and the cheeses.
We have a champagne cheddar.
And you know what we're going to actually, you know what we're going to have when we get through Essie's, we're going to go back to the champagne and we're going to try, well, not real champagne, but you know what I mean. And we're going to try that champagne cheddar and see how that makes love.
I think the real star is the mini Cool Ranch Doritos.
Yes, the mini Cool Ranch Doritos are amazing. They are amazing. So what do we got? 2 thumbs up so far here. And I know we still have some bubbles left in both Rocky and Sandy's glass, but if you had to pick, where would you rate this on a scale of 1 to 5?
I like this a lot. I really do. I like cavas, so.
Well, there's nothing else.
It's got a little more bite on it than the first one, though. Like when you drink it,
There's
you
a
feel like-
mild herbal characteristic to this that for me in sparkling wine is not something that I want. But for the price point, I just think that this wine's really good. We tried it and I was like, wow.
What did we pay for this?
I think this was like $11. Yeah.
That's still a solid cava at that price.
So yeah. For
So
what
2
you're
thumbs up. And Mr. Crow has not been heard yet. We haven't made any
right?
puns.
He's on his best
Sandy-
behavior because I'm
Sandy hates the Crow.
Oh, Sandy.
I hate the dad jokes
She
too.
hates the dad jokes. So a guy goes to the doctor's office. He says, "Doc, you got to help me. I can't hear out of my right ear." The doctor says, "Well, here's your problem. You've got a suppository in your ear." Picks up his phone and says, "Honey, you can stop looking for my hearing aid. I think I know where it is."
Okay.
All right.
Oh, now I got it. Took me a moment.
I just want you to know that Santa will be bringing a new set of dad jokes. So for you.
It took me a while to figure that one out, but I did eventually get my Carrie's over there making fun of me already. But did you get that one quickly, Brian?
It took a
It took a second.
I wasn't
Maybe it
just
was
me.
Maybe it was my
Rob, did you
delivery.
get that one? Damn it.
How about this? I got home yesterday and Sandy's yelling at the TV, "Don't go in there, don't go in that church." And I'm like, "What movie is she watching?" It was our wedding video.
I don't.
2 in a row.
Okay, well.
I think we're leading right into Essie now because we always look forward to Essie's stuff. What do we got, girl?
All right. Let's just try this. And then
Do we need the other glasses
You're
yet?
not
Or?
telling us what this is. We're going
I'm
into
going to tell you what it is because I want you to rate it based on flavor, right? It's all about that.
well,
Okay.
I think, Essie, you brought the Snoop Doggy one last year.
Yeah.
They did.
And was that not a surprise?
that was a surprise.
And the difference, I think, with that was how well it went with orange juice. So I did bring orange juice this time in the event that you think this is a mimosa.
Interesting.
Are you going to fill your glass?
Yes. Just in case you think it's mimosa worthy only.
Are you going to give us any background?
Oh, yeah, a little background.
Are we guessing where it's from?
Guess where it's from?
You got to cleanse my palate with some
money's
water.
out.
I know, right?
It doesn't taste like anything we just drank so far. So
So not cava.
I do get a little toastiness, though.
Okay. He's giving it the.
It's not like California. It's not like a
No.
bold high alcohol. So I'm going to go with a cold climate region. And obviously it's not going to be like Prosecco or Cava because that would be too obvious. Can't be champagne. You're trying to trick us. I want to say that this is German sekt.
South Africa.
South Africa. Oh, okay.
And it is Lubanvi made in, and it's a rosé.
I was going to say, it looks a little...
And it is
doesn't look rosé in the glass, though.
Yeah, now it-
grapes that are grown not just in South Africa but Provence.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting. I thought it was an interesting flavor. This company is very socially and environmentally conscious. And to read about them is hilarious because they were like a couple of college guys that ended up in South Africa on an internship or camping or something. And then they found that this area, which is just north of Cape Town, and actually outside of Cape Town, when I was there, we went to Stellenbosch. They grow a lot of wine, grapes for wine. And so they started this wine company with a very socially responsible goal and flavor, and they give back to the community, and their company donates a lot of money to the people that actually work the vineyards. And I just love that. And I thought,
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, I mean, generally we are irresponsible. So maybe that will tame us a little bit. But,
Yeah, this is really good for South African wines. Normally you get kind of like a I want to call it a scorched earth, but South Africa is kind of a warm region, and they've done a really good job manipulating this wine, because I thought that this came from a cold climate, and clearly that's not the case at all.
well, I could say right now, in the 15 years doing the show, we've never had a South African sparkling I'm aware of on the show.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't even know they had
I
it.
recall. Yeah.
Oh, I got to ask, where'd you find it, S?
this was Gillette Ridge wines. They're wonderfully knowledgeable, and I go every year and I say, you got to give me something a little different. And because we went to South Africa a few years ago, and we went to the Stellenbosch region, that's why I picked this one. And then when I read about it and saw the story,
Yeah.
their sense of responsibility, and I thought, this is really fun and neat, and it's like $18.99 a bottle.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think it works with a lot of different things.
And this is a rosé, huh?
Yes.
I'm
Interesting.
But I mean, the lighting in here is kind of
And it's a brut,
studio,
right?
but
Because it's got a dryness.
In the
it looks
bottle.
rosé-ish. It's kind of like the Gris Blanc. It's like almost a white wine, but it's
But in the glass,
say
it doesn't
brut,
look
but
the
it's
same.
like not real.
I think this is dry enough that I would still call it a brut on the bubble side.
Oh, this is very dry. Yeah,
But it doesn't.
I like this a lot.
It doesn't say brut on the bottle, which is surprising.
Yeah, it's
I don't know that I would mix this.
I would probably mix the cava with
I agree.
with for a mimosa. Yeah.
I think this stands on its own.
Exactly.
And usually, if you're using a wine for mixing, you want something that's you need to add.
Right.
I got to say, yes. I mean, I was expecting that we would like it, but it was going to be kind of a sparkling that needed to be mixed like you did last year. Because Snoop's was good, but Snoop needed some additives.
You need a little help.
Little
And
vitamin C.
in a Snoop Doggy Dog vineyard needed just a little bit of flavor added to it. But that stands on its own
Yes, I agree.
Oh, great.
It's very
great. I'm
good.
so excited that you like it.
in the $18 price range.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I will go back and get this again. I just thought,
That's very good.
So you surprised us with this one. What are we going into next?
Oh, okay. So if you want to do some fun cocktails using some cava or prosecco, could I?
yeah, go for it. That's I also brought some little mini bottles of prosecco, and actually brought a German one.
So-
if we needed a mix.
Do you want the other glasses, S?
Not yet. People like to have mimosas sometimes during the holidays or any day, really. And so I take a little bit of orange juice and add a little bit of blue curacao.
Like that melon
which
balm
is
color.
a liqueur. Well, this is called the Grinch cocktail. So we're going to make it a little green. And then we're going to add your bubbly. And it can be anything. It can be cava, prosecco. And then we took a little strawberry and a little hello.
No.
And there you go, little Grinch.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Or meanwhile, it's the Grinch.
But what does it taste like, Essie?
What does it taste like? Okay, let's see. You try yours first, Sandy, and you tell me. So curacao will add a little bit of an orange flavor, so it's fine with the orange juice. And so you should just taste a little more of the citrusy orange stuff.
Remember the Ziploc commercials from the 80s? Yellow and blue make green.
Sealed.
It's sealed. I just aged myself.
I cannot believe how cute that is.
It's adorable.
Gary, are you seeing this?
Love
this.
And now for the other
I have to drink it without messing up my system.
add,
You want to just share that one?
you know how much I like, is a shot glass?
She doesn't share with me.
I don't share with Rocky.
Okay, because for your glass,
Get your own.
we could do a little.
This is adorable. This is one of the most adorable things.
I got to say, regard
Essie needs to own a bar.
I don't. You know what?
She really needs to. Yeah, you.
what
Right,
it's
it's
the
solid.
color. But you just see Christmas there. It's unbelievable.
It's about the color. It's about the sparkle, and this one gives you a little bit of both. So for those that celebrate Hanukkah, here we go.
Oh,
Is that for me?
that's
To our Jewish friends in the audience?
What did you put in that one?
I just used the Prosecco, but it's my little edible glitter. I love edible glitter. Yeah, I mean, you can put it everywhere. You can even put it in this, and look what it does to this. It just makes it glow a little more. It gives a little sparkle on the top. And then there's
It does.
other things you can do. You can make
Those are beautiful.
So I made
Yeah. And that's,
ice cubes with cranberry and rosemary sprigs, and you can put your champagne in that, or your Prosecco or cava or whatever you like.
She just frees the cranberry.
Yes,
is so
inside,
cool.
inside, and it just.
I get this too? Oh, I'll be double fisting it here, guys. There we go. I think they're jealous that they didn't get any out there.
Oh, I think. Oh, okay.
I would like to try the cranberry.
good with my empty glass.
Come on, Rocky. What? Want to try more of this?
I don't care. Yeah, that's good. Hit me up. Oh, you don't have to fill it up. Ooh.
Okay, but just a little fun stuff.
Sandy will yell at me.
Holidays.
So, Essie, what are your sources for these recipes? Are you online or are you?
I for some reason on my Instagram they just come to me.
Okay.
So that's how I find them. But I love this. I think that's
The
fun.
Santa hat is adorable.
The strawberry with the marshmallow, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So and I love the edible things that you can add to your cocktails too, just to make them look pretty. Especially in the holidays, you want a little sparkle, right?
You always surprise us. Always surprise us.
Try it with a blueberry.
In 15 years, I think, how many times have you been on the show now for the Bubble Show? At least 8?
Orange and blueberry?
Out of 15? 8? I think so, right?
Really?
I would have to be 8 almost. I would think so.
I'm gonna put some of this in.
This is going to be a tough show to decide which is the best because everything is so unique here.
They are.
And we probably have to rate everything individually. So, I mean,
The cava wasn't necessarily unique. The other two were. The cava was like a baseline for us to judge the other ones.
yeah.
And the cava was good, but
The first cava was not a cava. At least the
saying-
grapes are not
I'm
typical
saying-
cava grapes.
this one.
That was that was cava in every estimation of cava that you could ever have.
So I think this is the first time in 15 years we have no French stuff on the show. So we have the cava that is not a cava. We have the cava that is a cava. And we go to South Africa, which surprised everybody because like Rocky said, you expect a colder climate
Yeah.
for that.
Well, we don't have any glasses. I was going to say I have a German one here. If you wanted to compare that to any of this,
We have about 6 minutes left, a little under 6 minutes left. I mean, but we do not.
unless
have
you
any
want to
glasses.
slam those, I guess, or we don't really have the ability.
It's New Year's. I'm not driving, so
So let's give it a little. This is
Some.
it's just a split that I found. It's called Piccolo.
and we have not had many German sparklings on the show.
Now, German sparkling. I mean, it's just not. That's not like something you see on American menus very often. So this will
Which is
be.
surprising.
I could easily count on one hand. Oh, it's a screw top. Good.
Now, I've actually never heard of this particular one before, even in the store. So where's this one from?
It's from Germany. I don't even remember where I get. Did we get this at like Costco? Yeah.
Costco, fine.
Okay.
It was a set of.
Oh, a set of six. Yeah.
Six-pack of
And we saw that and we were like, let's get
Bubbles.
that for the wine show. And then we were like, that was a stupid thing.
There's a rock.
Yeah, so-
Say that right. Keep quiet. That was it.
That's not a tasting.
Where in Germany is that made?
Oh, well, that's a very good question.
I'll just take some of this.
Yeah. Well, look now where you went. Oh, okay.
There we go. That's right. This is a tasting.
So this is sekt trocken. Wiesbaden. It's from Wiesbaden, Germany.
Okay.
I don't know where that is. I don't know what. I mean, there's a few regions in Germany, so.
And if you had to guess, if you had to put a price point on a regular size bottle compared to what you paid for the split, what do you think the price range is?
German sekt. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna put this. Well,
I'm gonna be honest.
let me try it. Was it not good?
Faces.
Is it terrible?
You have an empty glass right there.
Oh, okay.
Don't do a
Newport, Rhode Island
do
cake.
a-
Okay.
Don't do a rocky pour though.
Okay. Is that
That's
is that okay, dear?
That's acceptable.
Thank you, dear. Yes, dear.
I will say it's a one-noter. It's just one note. It's one note.
Got an aftertaste to me.
I agree.
It's
Got a little honey.
Oh, you're trying to make it sound. It's okay if y'all don't
we're
like
going to
it.
be honest. I mean, it's a one note.
Orange juice to it.
It's a one-note sparkling.
There you go. I mean,
There we go. Sorry, Germany. You missed out on this one.
They can make good whites, but
It's not terrible, but it's not. I wouldn't buy it twice. So
it depends. Depends on the price point. It's one of those sparklings that's unique enough to give it a shot like we're doing tonight. Is it one that you're going to add to our repertoire if we're all out somewhere and you see it on the menu, or if someone brings it to the house, you can say, oh yeah, I want that particular one that you guys brought really quick. Maybe not. Sandy's,
I'm gonna.
There's a wine out there for everybody.
that's true.
So there's somebody who's going to love this. To me, it's a little too it's almost sour, right?
It's not sweet though.
No, it's not sweet, but
Yeah.
it needs something in it.
orange
This is,
juice.
yeah, maybe. You want to splash into it? So
Do a little.
oh, there we go.
Put a little orange.
And based on the other ones in this set, I'm gonna say that this is probably a low end, probably $10.
I'm glad we have a tiny bottle.
If it were, yeah, if it were a full size bottle, I'd say it probably wouldn't sell for more than $10 because the other ones that were in this set, it was a set of 6, just kind of cheap prosecco and cavas. One of them was like Frisinet. What was the other one? The ubiquitous. If you're going for bottomless mimosas at some place, but in this was thrown in there. So I don't know. I've never had it before. I'm not going to buy Hinkle Piccolo ever again, but it's
Maybe it'll taste different in a bigger bottle.
maybe. I don't know.
It does taste a little better with a little blue curacao.
Isn't that pretty? That is
It
so
looks
pretty.
pretty.
I still want to say that I don't think it tastes necessarily. This everything is very based on your palate. It doesn't taste bad, but it's compared to what we've drank tonight. It's kind of like a one-noter.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't sort of linger.
It tastes cheap. Yeah, it just tastes.
I hate to use that word, but you're not going to get a lot of flavor profiles in there. This is what you call it gets the job done if you drink enough of it. That's pretty much what that does. It gets the job done. So it's one you might bring out late in the night when people are already experienced the good stuff and you don't want to open anything else that's expensive.
Yeah.
Maybe you go to something like that.
Maybe.
I think if you know you're making cocktails too, there's certain wines, just like vodka or gin or, something that are meant for mixing.
So 15 years, guys, have been doing the show. And this was one of the more unique bubble shows because like I said, we had not one French thing. And everybody knows I'm a big French guy. So we have to do the best in glass. And this is going to be difficult because the best in glass, and I generally don't choose my own stuff, but I have to go with the cava that's not a cava. We're going to rate your stuff separately. So we're going to have 2 best in glass.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm picking my cava that's not a cava.
What do you think, Gus?
I'm taking.
South African?
Yes.
Oh.
Yep.
I'm going cava that's not cava.
I got to go cava, not cava.
All
Just 'cause
right.
It tastes like champagne. I
So
love it.
there's the bubbles that wins. Now we have to go to Essie's concoctions of flavor and exuberance. What do we have here? Do we have the first one or do we have the second one? Or actually, were there 3? There was just the bubbles on its. Now, wait a minute.
I only tried that.
That
We had
did,
the Grinch
we had the Grinch. Yeah. And then we had the one with the ice cube
and the blue.
and the blue.
Sandy never shared the book.
I never had something with the green, so I can't guarantee I like that. That's
I like the Grinch cocktail.
Grinch cocktail?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's so festive.
I think for the holidays, it's like.
Our lights are flashing. We're flashing.
On overtime.
It's going to be 2026 soon. I want to thank everybody for watching our show all these years. So until the new year, I'm Bobby P.
I'm Rocky H.
And that's Sandy and Essie. Until next year, keep us all
In your
in your wine cellar.
Okay.